What's the issue? I'm sorry.
What little Christmas tree?
Right.
I'm not even going to. I was going to repeat the drop, but never mind. I'll just leave it alone.
Why don't we? I want to give you these Ben Johnson quotes because, look, he's never going to be able to answer these. I thought he answered it well. But, look, if he talks and he's asked a question about leaving or jobs, I think we should at least pass it on to the guys, as Kenny likes to say. David, you want to read the quotes, please?
Sure. I'd say this. I think there's a burning desire in every man to find what he's made out of and push the limits and see if he's got what it takes. And so, yeah, there's a fire there. Now, when that time is, I don't know when that'll be, but there's certainly a fire there. Then he goes on to say, now that I've been through the ringer a couple times, had some interviews, I certainly do feel more prepared just from a big picture standpoint. But right now, I mean, we've got 3 games left in the season, going into the postseason, and honestly, this is why I'm here. This is why I wanted to be here. I have an obligation to the people in the building and right where my feet are.
It's a great answer. And look, if you want to start handicapping the Ben Johnson sweepstakes, I'm making an assumption, and maybe it's a bad one. I'm making an assumption Aaron Glenn is gone. That if he is offered any job, he is taking it. The man wants to be a head coach. He's gone through multiple cycles. And I understand some people are going to slander Aaron Glenn moving forward. I will not. He has nothing to work with. I truly believe he's gone. The Ben Johnson thing is trickier because Ben Johnson has earned the right to be selective. Now, he had the ability to take that Washington job and to have Jaden Daniels and to go, and he didn't. He smartly did not want to go home to Carolina because working for David Tepper, you may as well have your own vehicle back over you. But what's interesting is the Bear job seemingly was the one he coveted. They didn't get rid of Eberflus. Now Eberflus is gone, but the dysfunction resides there. The Jet job is open. We just got done telling you the owner is meddlesome and talks about Madden ratings. He ain't going there. I think the report that, and also, let me say this, I don't think the Giants would be a spot for Ben Johnson because cronyism. John Mara's got too many family members in that organization and too many people that have been involved for too long. The whole thing needs what was Aaron Rodgers doing? The olive oil enemas.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The Giants need one of those. So,
I think the Bears is different. I think the Bears' job is a lot like where the Lions were. You have talent, you have no direction, you have no leadership. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes came in here, fixed that, and got everybody out of their own way. That's been the problem in Chicago, is everybody gets in their own way. Everybody has their own agenda.
And what did Ben Johnson, allegedly, Ben Johnson wants to go to a place where everyone has a singular vision, his vision. And I thought this line was interesting. It's a couple of weeks ago on ESPN, if you guys missed it. He wants an organization to admit to past mistakes and understand what they've done wrong in order to fix it. Look, maybe, hey, if this team goes on the grand journey and wins the whole thing, gone. But maybe if they get aced out early, he comes back, unfinished business, the whole thing. I don't know. Right. None of us know. But I think the conversation is interesting. And look, the man was asked about it today. We should at least give you the quotes. Now, I would welcome him to New York. We'll have hopefully the number 1 pick. And I just don't know if Ben will like living in New Jersey. Can't speak to that.
No, I get that. I still say,
wouldn't it be good for the show?
I would be.
Come on. Ben Johnson, a Giant. Then you can stop hating my team.
No, they would still hate him.
Why?
Because he's no longer a Lion.
Hating us is like hating a homeless person. You can't do that. They're homeless.
Not until you get good again, and then you don't like
All right. Well, look, I'd be fine with Ben Johnson. But again, this is the other part of it. Not everybody wants to live there. Living in places like New York and L.A., you are making personal sacrifices. You are. You have to truly want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus I could take an easier job with an easier life for my family. Easier for me. Going to New York means you are dealing with 60 microphones, not 6. There ain't nowhere to hide. So
You mean everybody won't be your buddy and friend? I'm just saying, yeah, because as they say, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Yeah, L.A., you don't really have a fan base.
No, I'm just saying, like Vegas, I wouldn't go there. I truly wonder what the Bears are up to. You heard about Vrabel being maybe the top of their list. If the Bears aren't available, what job is a no-brainer for Ben Johnson to take?
I don't think they'll fire their coach, but if they do, to me, it's Cincinnati.
That's not on the table.
No, I'm saying, but they're struggling and maybe they need a scapegoat this year. That's the one where I think
Good spot to live, too.
No brainer.
Basically,
Just go.
an hour to Keeneland, hour to Churchill Downs.
Skyline Chili, yeah.
Bar none. Grossest thing. It is so gross. I
Now,
can't.
will that end up on your Christmas dinner table?
David, it is something. It could be free for the rest of my life. I still wouldn't eat it. I gave that stuff one shot about 15 years ago.
Sugar in it.
Bro, there's like cinnamon, star of anise. I don't know what's in it. It's awful. And it's watery. They don't melt the cheese. Anyone who likes that crap is a psychopath. It's awful. Like, we stopped on the way home from the Kentucky Derby about 15 years ago. Oh, hey, look, it's Skyline. Everybody seems to like this crap. Stopped in. No one finished their meal. I took 2 bites. I go, I'm going back in the truck. I'll see you guys in a minute. It was a disaster. That stuff is terrible. Terrible. Kenny wouldn't even eat it. That's how bad it is.
Mike Valenti for Skyline Chili.
I did the same thing you did, Mike. I was in Ohio for some reason, and we tried it, me and a couple of buddies. Nobody finished it. It's just like what happened with you. It's terrible.
Ben Johnson, he is so much better than Skyline Chili. He can't go to Cincy. I'm making a point to you. If you're Ben Johnson, you want to coach an established QB or have the right to choose whatever QB you want. Well, that would be the Giants.
Right.
Or we go to the established pile. What established QBs?
Can you fix Caleb?
Yes.
No, I'm saying that's for him.
Yes.
Now, all you need to do is get Chicago Bears management to admit their mistakes.
I know.
You march them down Michigan Avenue with a bell saying shame.
Ryan Poles doesn't have a contract. So there's another thing. Look, just keep your eye on it. David, a few ticket texts, please.
Zach from Macomb says, I think Aaron Glenn is going to the Jets and Ben Johnson is going to Chicago. They do believe that he's going to Chicago. Okay.
Oh, boy, that'd be a lot to overcome, man, if you lose them both.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Oh, I know we're not allowed to say that.
Does Ben Johnson value Madden ratings? That would determine if he goes to the Jets or not.
That story, if you're just joining the show, real reporting from Diana Rossini and The Athletic about the Jets' dysfunction and how Woody Johnson nixed a trade for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating was too low. You cannot make it up.
I don't think Ben Johnson is going anywhere with all these openings. The teams are dysfunctional, the management and the owners. So he stays again. Ooh.
You know, I would caution you on the staying is just sometimes you stay too long and you miss your window. And you got to be careful. Yeah, you just got to be careful with it. I mean, there's only so much Ben Johnson can do because eventually, you know what's going to happen? You're not going to have a top 5 offense. Mm-hmm. He'll have a bad year. Injuries will happen.
No, that's just it. One bad year and it doesn't work anymore.
You got to strike while the iron's hot. The work he's done the last 2 years, you'll never have offenses better than these. You could only hope to aspire to be these.
Yeah.
And plus, here's the other thing. Like, I know we're future-proofing and we're just talking. Your offensive line is old. Like, really hate to break it to you. But next year, I could see 4 guys not with this team, i.e. anyone not named Sewell. Decker, Ragnow, Zeitler, and Numbnuts, Glasgow. This is not a young offensive line. So while you've got it, you better be careful. Because if you get cute, the cycle moves on and then you never get your chance. But maybe he doesn't burn to do it. It's a good life being the OC. You don't deal with the media every week. You make a lot of money.
Mike, I thought that until I read his comments. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Because he said something in there like, I've been through the battles, I've been tested, and now I think he's ready to go. I don't think he was ready a few years ago. I didn't think he wanted that. But now, yeah, I've kind of maxed out, and I think he sees what you see. This isn't going to last forever. I'm not going to get the phone calls the way I'm getting the phone calls. I'm not going to get the best table in the restaurant. They're going to be like, who are you type of thing.
248-539-9797.